So just like me, you probably gathered 100 different stock ideas. From news, scanners, those hyped up friends, from your shady relatives. And before you know it, your idea list has turned into this jungle of stocks with your new ideas piling over the old. There's no structure, there's no system, and you just end up getting confused and lost and eventually even end up giving up on it where you never even bother to look at it again. Well, this video is about fixing that. I'm gonna give you a framework to organize, maintain, and track your ideas so you never lose a great setup again. And the best part is you can customize this framework according to your own trading style. I'm going to break it down step by step. Scans, patterns, fundamentals, alerts, weekly review. If you stick till the end, I'm going to show you a routine where you can keep your list sharp, precise, clear, and never overwhelming. The last step is actually crucial. This is where most traders struggle. And it's the difference between a focus list and a jungle of 1,000 stocks. So before we dive in, here's a quick tip. Set up a Notion page or a Google Sheet with these 5 headlines: scans, patterns, fundamentals, alerts, and reviews. As you advance in your unique trading journey, you can keep adding your own criteria, your own parameters under each section. So over time, what is going to happen is this is going to become your own playbook for finding and maintaining great stocks and A+ setups. Alright, let's jump in with the first step, scans. Step 1 is scans. This is where you are going to gather all different ideas from different sources and put them in one place. Your sources could be scanners with parameters like a certain RSI or ADX level. It could also be some headlines which you've read or some information you found from YouTube or a Twitter post you've read. And as I said earlier, even casual tips from your family or your friends. Personally, I take all these ideas and dump them into one TXT file. So why do I use a TXT file? Because I can quickly import that list into TradingView and then start quickly filtering those winners from the losers. You can also use Excel and Google Sheets. The tools don't matter, the system does. Also, very important thing, make this into a ritual. I personally like doing this on a Friday after the market ends, so I can just spend the weekend diving into the handful stocks that I've picked out which show the best setups. The goal of this stage is very simple. From all the 100 noisy ideas, you want to land on about 40 to 50 stocks, and that's your universe. From here, we're going to narrow it down further to 10-15 good candidates, and eventually to 2-3 good A+ setups. Once your list is ready, import it to TradingView, and then it's time for step 2, pattern recognition. So step 2 is pattern recognition, and this is where the fun begins. Once you've got your list of 40-50 charts, just flip through the charts. Literally, you just have to press the space bar to keep moving on to the next chart. And while you do so, look for setups and patterns that jump out. The ones you like, put them in a different list. So inside TradingView, I maintain 2 lists. First one is the ideas list. Here, everything that looks promising in terms of patterns goes into that list. Then the second list which I have is the A+ watch list. Here, only the A+ setup comes after we check the fundamentals. So in terms of what patterns I'm looking for, I follow the same patterns which many US investing champions rely on. I've also made a very detailed video on this which you can check out to understand their own playbooks. So the most commonly used patterns amongst these super traders are the VCP pattern, which is the volatility contraction pattern, simple breakouts from consolidation, base formations, cup and handle setups, volume dry-ups and expansions, and your simple moving averages confluences. See, that's my playbook, but again, your playbook might differ a lot. You might prefer things like earnings play or simple support and resistance or trendline breaks. The framework remains the same, but the criteria is yours to define. At this pattern recognition stage, you're cutting down your universe from 40-50 stocks to 10-15 actionable ideas. Maximum 20, but don't go beyond this. And this is basically my ideas list. This list is gold. It's the one you're going to come back to again and again. The one list that you're going to keep refining week after week for as long as you trade. It's literally the foundation that you'll come back to, even as new ideas flow in. So once you've done this pass, we move to the next step, which is the fundamentals. Alright, so step 3, this is your fundamentals. This is where you take your 10-15 actionable ideas and narrow them down to just 2-3 A+ setups that you'll actually trade in the current week. You take these ideas and you put them in the A+ watch list. For example, I'm making my favorite stocks green out here. I'm flagging them green so they get automatically populated in the A+ watch list. Now again, the criteria again is yours to define. Personally, I keep it very simple. I focus only on the earnings growth triggers. Again, I've made a very simple video on this to clearly explain what I'm looking for. Simply put, if the earnings are expanding and if it's lining with my technical setup, that stock makes the A plus watchlist cut. Again, you might have different angles like turnaround stories, insider or promoter buying, unusual bulk orders, strong news catalysts, balance sheet improvements, anything. The framework is yours to customize. Think of this like a filter. You pour 10-15 names into a funnel, and what comes out are 2-3 high conviction trades. Once you've picked those A plus setups, it's time for step 4, alerts. So you can act the moment the price hits your levels. Step 4 is alerts. This is where you let the system do the watching for you. Say now you've got your 2-3 A plus setups, but the price isn't quite there at the level of the entry which you want to take in. Or maybe from your 10-15 actionable ideas, some setups are still not fully formed yet. So instead of staring at charts all day, just set alerts. In TradingView, it's pretty simple. Draw your horizontal lines, trend lines, moving averages, right click and just set alert. For example, in this video, I'm just setting up random alerts on those horizontal lines which I'm placing, and even on the 200-day moving averages. So what it'll do is every time it crosses these levels, I'm simply just going to get an email of the trigger. From there, I can either take the trade or adjust and set a new alert at a different level. Also think of alerts as future mini ideas that show up in your inbox whenever the market is ready. So once your alerts are set, you're basically done for the week. Now it's wait and watch. But don't go brain dead either. I like to use this time to stay sharp, review charts and prepare for the next week's scan. This stage locks in your A plus setups. And with the alerts running in the background, you can focus on keeping your systems clean. Which brings us to the most final and important step. Step 5 is your most important step, the weekly daily review. This is where traders usually go wrong. They collect ideas week after week, but the list just ends up growing into a jungle of names until it either confuses them or they just stop paying attention to it altogether. The key out here is your list should be rotating and self-cleaning. So here's how to do it. At the end of the week, repeat your scan process and refresh your list. But before you add new names, review your 10-15 actionable ideas and ask yourself, what can I remove? Maybe a stock is too volatile? Remove it, kick it out. Maybe the fundamentals have broken down. Remove it. Maybe that particular setup is no longer in stage 2. Again, remove it. Replace these ideas which you've removed with stronger new ideas from your scans. Think of it like a rotating roster. Some stocks stay for 2-3 weeks when they're still building up a base. Others get dropped quickly once they trigger, fail or lose strength. And new names come back to top that list back to 15. Example, in week 2, you might just add 5-7 new ideas because the other 8-10 ideas from week 1 are still valid. Another tip is to create tiers. If letting go of old names feels a little bit difficult for you, then split your universe into a bucket of 3 or sections. The first one can be A plus watch lists, where you have your 10-15 ideas which are setups ready if they trigger this week. The next one could be your B list, which are your 20-30 names, like your promising stocks but they still need more proof or maybe more study. And the third one could be your archive or the dropped list, where maybe your setups have failed and they have broken the charts, but you don't want to delete it because you feel that sometimes it might just come back. So this way your focus is on the A plus section and not on the 100 stocks which are currently there in that same list. Then there's the weekly cleanup ritual which you must follow. End each week by promoting 2-3 names from the B list to the A plus list, and that is if they have improved. Then you can demote some stocks from the A plus list to the B list or even just put them in the archive or dropped list. See, cut down anything that has lost key levels or show heavy selling. This keeps your list sharp and avoids bloat. Then lastly, what you can actually do, which is also kind of important, like for me at least it is, which are the daily 5 to 10 minutes light checks, where basically what you're doing is every day you're just doing a quick check to stay connected, where you're basically just skimming those ideas to see if the levels are getting breached or if some kind of pattern is forming, or even making new ones on the same chart to just keep sharp. You're also maybe spotting candlestick signals that might call for action or exits. Think of this like just brushing your teeth. Just 5-10 minutes keeps everything fresh and prevents chaos from piling up. So that's it. Scans, patterns, fundamentals, alerts, and weekly and daily review routines. If you follow this, your idea list eventually compounds in clarity. So stay consistent, keep your mental momentum, and you'll always be ready when the big move arrives.